Welcome, sparkly friends, to where the magic happens. I'm not gonna lie, this is an embarrassing share. This place, which is supposed to be like my sacred space, this place that is supposed to be my sacred space has become a disaster area. Nothing that I'm proud of. There are just books and piles of stuff everywhere, and it's just awful. But I'm gonna reclaim the space and I'm gonna take you along with me on this one. I love tarot decks. I think that this is an amazing way to connect with yourself. You can use tarot in spells, you can use it for shadow work. It's definitely great for figuring out what the heck is going on with you and having a bridge to your ancestors for communication. If you don't know how to read tarot or you're new to it, I want to encourage you that it is totally possible. When I began in my early 20s, I didn't have a book. I would just sit up late at night by candles and read the cards intuitively. It wasn't until later in life that I studied formally, and I now teach tarot. I love to turn people on to the tarot because I feel like it's a system that is so developed that there's a consciousness attached to it. We can actually tap into the collective consciousness that has been built up over centuries of tarot reading and be a part of that. As you can see, I am a collector. I do love finding new art styles and tarot decks that take me into new places in my mind. I set this up so that I had my best used decks on the top shelf and then kind of the ones that I used sporadically through the year going lower and lower as I went down. If you find yourself intimidated by tarot decks, I would say give oracle decks a try. There are hundreds of themes of them out there and they are really beginner friendly. Whatever you're trying to hone in your personal practice, there's an oracle deck out there that addresses it, I guarantee. Stopping to enjoy that bird, like hearing it outside my window, and it just like pierced through my consciousness, everything that I'm doing in the room, and suddenly the bird is all I want to listen to. Just absolutely such a gift in the middle of this, just to remember to remain grounded and not detached from nature while I'm in here doing this work of organizing. I have a secret I thought I'd share with you. Did you know that I have a newsletter I send out every week? I do. And there's a link down below to sign up and be a part of that. Magical tips and tricks and musings, and of course, all of the fun stuff and freebies that I give out. Of course, everything looks worse before it looks better. I took everything off the shelves so I could get a look at it and reorganize by subject. And I put things at a height that really worked for me. I couldn't actually see at this height, and I think it's funny because I didn't know how dirty it was up there. I have a real weakness for book buying. It's no joke. This is about 30 years of collecting books. Over the years, my tastes have really changed, and it's taken me some time to figure out what I really like to read and is valuable to me. My advice to you is don't keep anything that you don't love. This is my prized collection of Troy books. I don't have very many, but they are amazing. They are reproductions. that are done just so tastefully with this gold foiling. This one in particular I got in Glastonbury, so it's really special to me. This is just my reference book collection. I do love information. Although we live in the information age where we can look online for answers, I love being able to flip through a book and find what I want, or to keep it out, or to even mark it up. And there's something about the smell of a book that is truly luscious. My daughter handcrafted this book nook. It's actually made in a cardboard box, and she collected all these pieces. But before we move on to me unveiling how wonderful everything turned out, although you can see some of it back here, I'm so keen to share with you the joy of unboxing all of these goodies. First up is this box of books I mailed myself from Arkansas while at my niece's wedding. We visited the old hippie antique mall and checked out all these amazing antiques. I couldn't believe how inexpensive things were. It made me wish that I had a U-Haul to take tons of things back. I was completely enamored by all the amazing bottles that they had everywhere throughout the store. This place was a veritable treasure trove, let me tell you. I ended up getting that green bottle on the right there. Anybody remember metal lunchboxes that rusted out? If this thing didn't weigh 20 pounds, I would have taken it home with me and put it on top of my wood stove for water. Because we have a farm, my husband and I drove around, and we always look at the agriculture in an area, and we discovered this. Those are bales of cotton, and we were just so excited to see this. I think this lets you know what kind of an agricultural geek I really am. Back to the books I got at the hippie antique mall. I have been wanting these forever. From Time Life Books, published between 1984 and 87. The Enchanted World series. I have wanted these books. I've seen other people get them. What's really cool is that these stories are from all over the world, and the art is amazing, showing the art from different cultures. I can't wait to share this with my grandchildren. I have looked and coming across this so inexpensively. It was worth paying to have it shipped. It's about half of what it would have cost me to buy it on the web. I'm absolutely thrilled. Anyone have these? The Druid Shaman by Danu Forest. I collect Danu Forest books. I'm really excited about this one. It's just a little book, a little tiny book, which is perfect. If you don't know who Danu Forest is, she is so worthwhile reading if you are into animism and druidism, forest witchery. She's really someone that you want to check out. So, who were the Celts? What is Druidry? What is shamanism? Shamanic practice? Celtic shamans? A guide on the path. Danu Forest is a favorite of mine. I love her work. I collect her books. I don't have all of them. I think I'm just shy of 2 now. If you are a forest witch or an animist, or if you love to work with Druidic principles, then you will love Danu Forest. And this book is just chocked full of, even though it's small, it is chocked full of ideas for how to work with whatever she's talking about. She's always big on exercises, so you can plan on finding something that you can do at the end of each chapter to kind of take home the lesson of what she's talking about. Next up on the list, what's it going to be? Dun, da, da. It's The Witch Compass by Ian Chambers. So I actually saw this book on Ivy's channel and decided that I wanted to get my hands on it. I'm always into studying up on traditional witchcraft. I don't always employ a lot of it, but I love digging my mind into things that have been around for a long time. The witch compass is used for protection, but Ian goes into great depth on this and asserts that this is actually sort of a map of the world and a way for interfacing with the world and going deeper. This has gotten really good reviews. Another great thing about this is that it's got this list of exercises that you do all the way through, and they look really interesting. Associating, experience the other, finding yourself, standing at the crossroads, the 9 witch knots charm, and it goes on. So it's not a very long book. It looks like something that I could just get through fairly quickly. More than likely, this is going to take me some time because it is on traditional witchcraft, and I tend to be just a natural, a natural witch, a natural practitioner. but I do love learning about traditional witchcraft and the ideas that have been around for a long time. So The Witch's Compass by Ian Chambers. Let me know if anybody's read this out there. This is actually 3 books from Thrift Books. I want to encourage you to order used books whenever you can. Reduce, reuse, recycle, right? That's part of being a natural practitioner for me. This one right here is The Winter Solstice, Sacred Traditions of Christmas by John Matthews. So, and of course it's with contributions from Caitlin Matthews. If you don't know who the Matthews are and you're a practitioner, get into them. I think John has written something like 60 books or something, maybe even more than that. As this is Yule, I wanted a book that I could get into where I could just kind of dive into what Yule is all about, and all about Christmas and the different aspects of it. And he is such an incredible writer. Wow, somebody really marked up this book with stuff they were into. Here's the Yule log, all the different things that you can do to celebrate during this time. This book revolves around the winter solstice and how it has affected peoples around the world. So it's a multicultural view of the solstice and different traditions. I'm sure I'll be sharing more about what I read in here in my Yuletide videos that I have up and coming. I'll be sharing crafts and decor and my own traditions. I'm hoping to inject something new into my Yuletide season and to have this book for years to study every time Yule comes around. I've been on a quest to acquire all of John and Caitlin Matthews' books, and so I purchased this one right here by Caitlin Matthews, and this one is Ladies of the Lake, and this is on the 9 women in the Arthurian legend. And so it talks about how each one of these women reflects some aspect of the goddess, and the 9 women themselves are fragments of the goddess. If you are into Welsh deities, you might find this book really interesting. I won't be getting to this probably until the spring, when this kind of energy sort of comes to life for me. Next up on the list, another book by John Matthews, Celtic Shamanism. This book was written in 1991 when core shamanism was coming to the forefront of our world, and Wicca was even on the rise at that time. I guess Wicca was really on the rise in the 80s. So what this book seeks to do is separate ideas of Celtic core shamanism from those of the Americas or Australia's or other places in the world, and kind of highlight what he believes those traditions might have been. You can see that this book has been through a lot. It really has. I mean, the lamination on the cover is coming off. It looks like maybe it got wet even. But I'm looking forward to digging into this. I'm doing a year in a shamanic studies program. So this book, I think, is going to give me just food for thought on different traditions around the world and how they relate to Celtic studies, which is my focus. Again, this book is Celtic Shamanism by John Matthews. Finally, I have a review of a book that I picked up recently that I want to share with you. For those of you who consider yourselves kitchen witches or hearth witches, 'tis the season for all things hearth as we're nestling in. And so this is the Hearth Witches Compendium by Anna Franklin. This book was released by Llewellyn in 2023. It is a chunky book, and it is a book of recipes from that are not only cooking, but you have wine making, you have making preserves in here. One of the things you'll find is that most of the recipes themselves come in both metric and imperial, and if it's not in there, there is in the back a conversion chart for you so that you don't have to go to the web and figure out, well, what is 1 pound when you're over in Europe? You'll find home remedies in here, all sorts of ideas. If you're looking for a book that is going to inspire you as a kitchen witch, I think this is a great book. This is going to encourage you to do things at home, to make it and to do it yourself. There's a ton of different alcoholic beverages that you can make in here. I was amazed at just how many cordials and different syrups and so forth that you could make. I mean, it's jams and pickles and spreads and fruit leather and home remedies and cleaning products, and you name it, it's in here. This is absolutely huge. It says on the back here, 200 food and drink recipes, 100 bath and beauty recipes, more than 35 home good recipes, 200 essential oil blends and home remedies, plus magical wisdom and practical tips. It's a very inspirational book. I do have a link down below to all the books that I mentioned in here, but I do encourage you to try to get things used if you can. Now when I walk in here, I feel so refreshed. My space feels like a place that is mine. It's truly magical. It calls me in. Here's all my mother's art on the wall that I have to enjoy. My tea warmer is ready to go. There's my special place to sit. My area for journeying went from this to now beautiful area where I can enjoy sitting and everything is waiting. All my decks can be seen and are easily accessible. Thanks for taking this wild ride with me. I had so much fun redoing my room, and now this is a place that I truly want to be. Hey there, lovelies. My next video comes out in 2 weeks. If it's already out, then it's on the screen right here. Oh my goodness, it's my favorite witchy things from the last 3 months. I have so much cool stuff to share with you. Places I've been, books, magical workings, grimoire workings, all sorts of fun stuff. I hope to see you there. If you made it this far, then you are a superstar. Leave me stars down below to let me know that you made it this far. And just know that I really appreciate the connections that I make on here. So many of you warm my heart with the emails that you send me and the ways in which we connect. So never doubt that you are appreciated for who you are.